So welcome to session 2 of this meditation and relaxation course. So the idea of this offering is each session will be a different method, different technique, so that you have plenty of resources to use at your leisure. So just a couple of reminders if you didn't attend the first session is to have a few props around. The idea when we do meditation and relaxation is that we are as comfortable as we can be. Mobile phones are turned off, so there's one less distraction. And in an ideal world, the home would be peaceful and quiet, but we know that's not always the case. So don't worry if there's, a busy house, a busy home, if there's noises and things. This is why we're working on some of these practices. So you can sit on the floor, you can sit in a comfortable chair, you can use as many cushions as you like for your meditation. We're doing a slightly different meditation today. And then I suggest for relaxation, I've got my little setup behind me. If you do want to lie on the floor and you have all those props, great, that's your choice. If you don't, again, just change your position a little bit when we get to that point. I'll talk you through it anyway. But remember, throughout, comfort is key, okay, whatever we do. So let's just start for a moment, either sitting or wherever you're most comfortable. Let's just close the eyes or soften the gaze. Remember, it's what's comfortable for you that really matters. And it's finding the right way that suits you. And I just want you to take a little time to check in and notice how you feel without judgment. The mind will continue to do its stuff. There'll either be lots of things going on in the headspace, or you might feel sleepy, you might feel really focused, you might feel distracted. The body, the mind is constantly adjusting to all the sensations, all the feedback, all the responses that we have physically and mentally and emotionally. So you're just taking a moment to notice. You're aware of yourself, you're aware of the surroundings. Maybe it's not quite as quiet as you would like it to be, but we can, through practice, learn with meditations to be in the busiest environments, but still generate or cultivate an inner sense of peacefulness and calm. And the key to helping us with all of these practices is the breath. I want you to just notice the breath. Take a little time out to actually acknowledge the breath. Feel the movement that the breath is creating. Feel the belly gently expand, rib cage, chest lifts as you breathe in, and then the softening in those areas as we breathe out. Chest softens, rib cage relaxes, belly relaxes. And we're filtering where possible the air through the nostrils. So we breathe in and out through the nose. And remember, if that's not comfortable, you just breathe with awareness, the best way for you. And don't worry if you're already feeling a little sleepy or tired. Let the body do what the body needs to do. Okay, this is your time. You don't need to be anywhere at the moment. Just focus on yourself. You can stay as you are if you prefer. But if you feel ready, next time you breathe out, I'd like you to lower the chin down towards the chest. You can let the eyes blink open. And so you can see your surroundings. I'm going to do a very different meditation. Rather than the seated, cross-legged or in a chair and concentrating on the breath or the heart center, which is what we did last week, we're taking more of an active meditation. So this is a really practical meditation that you can integrate in your day because it requires you to move. And the idea is that we are focusing on that movement. So I'm going to go ahead and get up. And you can join in with me if you wish, or you can just stay seated. I'm going to adjust my camera for you. And if you feel that you're so tired, just stay with the breath and think about this walking meditation and apply it as a visualization. So you can do this practice with shoes on. You can do this practice barefoot. You can do it inside. You can do it out on the lawn and the nice connecting to the earth. So you can decide when it suits you best. And all we're going to start doing is sort of feeling the gait of our walk. So you just feel the heel connecting through the foot to the toes. And then the back heel will lift, toes lift, and then there's that little step forward. We're slowing it down to start off with. So you're very aware of the sort of exchange of pressure through one foot to the next. You can explore, your eyes are open, so you're taking in everything that's around you. And when you get a little bit more sort of steady with this, you can walk a bit faster. So this is why it's helpful. You can do this anytime, any place. If you're out and about in the park or walking around towns, you can be more mindful in that movement and meditation in action. And we're not going anywhere in particular. So you can imagine yourself walking if you don't feel like physically walking, thinking about that connection of the feet. And we'll apply another tool into this practice. So the more we help focus the mind, the happier the mind starts to feel. And we're going to take a mantra and a mudra. So a mantra is a phrase, sort of translates as, it's a Sanskrit word from sort of the bridge to the mind. It's another tool. And a mudra, we have a hasta mudra. These are hand movements. So I'm going to come a little closer to the camera so you can see this. So you start to, and this is great when you're sitting down as well. So you start to connect the thumb pad to your first finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the little finger. So it's a little repetition of movement. So that's the sequence. And then we add the mantra. And the mantra is from the first finger, sa, ta, na, ma. Sa, ta, na, ma. So if your hands get a little tired, you can carry on mentally repeating sa, ta, na, ma. And it translates very loosely, very roughly as the cycle of life, the way of nature, from the spring to the summer, to the autumn, to the winter. So it's like birth, the cycle of life, the death, the rebirth. Very simple. It's just patterns, the fluctuations of our being. So you could just mentally, if you're not walking, and you can use the mudra. There's a few things for you to play with here. So walking, if you're walking, sa, ta, na, ma. Say it aloud if that's helpful, or just quietly within. If you're feeling that the body needs that movement, this is the practice. If you feel that you need to stay seated, just take the mantra and the mudra. You can carry on walking in your space. I'm going to come back down and sit down, carrying on with that mudra for me. Sa, ta, na, ma. Just honoring the cycle of life, cycle of being, going with the flow. If you're still walking, you're still physically moving around, maybe you can just take a moment to come to standing. Or maybe you can just sit in your chair. After your next round with the mudra, the next round of the mantra, just let that go. So you could stand or sit, you can let the hands relax, let go of the mantra. And we just observe that space. And so much of our time is moving from one thing to the next. And we don't have time in the spaces in between. These are just as important as the doing aspects of our lives. So just minding the gap. Notice just from those few moments of either visualizing the walking or using the mantra. We don't need to spend hours and hours meditating. That would be blissful if we had the time. You take a few moments. I'm much more interested in the quality rather than the quantity. So we take out that attitude that you should be doing it this way and you should be doing it for this amount of time. You're doing it for you. It helps reset how you need to be. If the mind gets busy, if more distracting thoughts start to flood into the space, you can go back to the sa, ta, nama. It's a reset, it's that anchor point. So the mind becomes a little steadier. Just checking in, noticing if suddenly the mind's wandered off, created a story in its distraction. Again, don't get distressed, don't get annoyed or frustrated that the mind keeps doing what the mind does. Be aware that that's what the mind's doing. Reset with the sa, ta, nama. Visualizing yourself walking across the beautiful grass in a beautiful forest, across a beach. So there's meditation in motion, even if we're only visualizing it. Meditation, you become more alert, not disconnected to your surroundings. We're not trying to blank out life. We're trying to flow through life. Sa, ta, nama. It's using the simplicity of the mantra to go with the flow. Just take a few more moments. When you're ready to breathe out the next time, let's just release that focus. You can lower the chin a little towards the chest. You can let the eyes blink open. You might just want to take a few very gentle shoulder circles, like they're barely moving. You might want to just take the right ear to the right shoulder, just easing into the side of the neck. The head can be supported on the chair. And you can ease that over to the opposite side. And maybe sitting up a little bit more, you could sort of wiggle the spine if that feels appropriate, comfortable. And a little wiggle on your bottom. Fingers feel comfortable, give them a little wiggle. The wrists. Really aware of the simplicity of just moving rather than just shaking out, that you're really feeling the response. And if you've got room to extend the legs out, just move back a little bit. If you're on a chair, you can point and flex the feet. You could wiggle the toes, even if they're in socks and slippers. Do some ankle rotations there. You could shake out the legs, even in the chair or on the floor. And we're going to leave a little wiggle, just so we can release from the meditation. We'll set up for relaxation. So it's always nice. Always encourage you to change the shape. So if you've only got a chair, use the chair, but maybe change the position a little bit. Keeping warm, having layers and a blanket's helpful. So if you've got a nice sofa, you can lie down on the sofa. I remind you to set up, if you're lying on the floor, quite like a cushion, you might want something warm underneath you, like a blanket. I've got another little cushion that I can use for the backs of my knees. So if lying flat on the floor is not your thing, doesn't feel good in the body, that's absolutely fine. Get comfortable. You can be in bed. So I've got a cushion underneath my knees, and then I can lie down. I've got a cushion for my head. So there's a support and a softening around there. So whatever shape it takes, it's comfortable. And then I would cover myself up. It's a little cold in my room today, so I would cover myself up with a blanket, but I'm going to come back and sit up. So take your time to get into that position. And again, we're taking an active practice to find our relaxation space. It's a little different when we relax. It's not a meditation. This is just to allow the physical system just to get a little bit of support. And in turn, that has an impact on the nervous system. And in particular, it starts to connect us into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that mode for rest and digest and renewal. So remember that life will continue all around you as you're relaxing. And for these next few minutes, there's nowhere really that you need to be. And this method is a progressive muscular relaxation technique. So there's a little bit of doing. So we activate a part of the body and then we allow it to relax, and we sink into that sensation of letting go of the doing. So we're actively finding those spaces, those gaps in between. So go ahead, just make any little adjustments, make sure clothes are smooth against the body. Maybe take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and you could exhale out through the mouth. Just releasing that exhalation as loudly as you want it to be. And just checking the body's position, feeling the support of the chair or the floor. Know that is there to hold you. I'm going to take our awareness into the face. I'm encouraging you to work the facial muscles. I invite you to tighten up the eyes. So screw up the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth, like you've eaten something really sour. So the whole face is tightening and contracting. Keep tightening, keep breathing as you do this, keep screwing up the eyes, the face. So you really feel some facial tension. And as you breathe out the next time, let all those facial muscles relax. Feel the softness across the forehead, the eyes, the eye sockets can relax, cheeks, lips, mouth, tongue, jaw, all relaxing. Then we'll take our awareness to around the neck and the shoulders, and we'll use the arms and the hands to help us get a little bit more release. So now I want you to make a little fist with your hands. And if you're lying on the floor, maybe your arms hover off the floor, your arms are a little bit more active. So you feel all the fingers, the forearm muscles, the biceps, shoulders, maybe right into the neck. Feel the shoulders lifting, you're tensing and tightening. You're still breathing as you're doing this. And then on that next exhale, it's like a weight lifted from the shoulders, down the arms and into the hands. Let the arms relax. Cover them up if you need to stay warm, and feel then, as we gradually work our way through the body, this letting go, this physically letting go. We're diving into the tension and then we're just surrendering it away. And feel the effects, feel the residue left in the body as we do this. And we'll take our awareness to the pelvis, the abdomen, the glutes, the bottom. Think about the belly and the rib cage and the chest. And the shoulders might still move, the shoulder blades. And I want you to feel like you're drawing in your belly muscle, your navel squeezing towards the back of the spine, your bum cheeks tighten. So you feel the whole of the torso is tensing, not aggressively. There's just an energy of effort, holding. And as you exhale, just imagine everything softening, all the muscles relaxing. And this is what our muscles are doing day in, day out as we move around, they activate and relax. We're just diving into that deeper sensation of feeling the letting go rather than the doing. And we'll do the same with the legs. So I want you to think about the thigh muscles. You have the fronts of the thighs, the inner thighs, the outer thighs. There's the back of the legs, the knees, the calf muscles, and the feet. So whether you're seated or lying, feel the toes start to curl or the feet flex. Feel your thigh muscles just squeeze a little bit. If you're lying flat on the floor, if you lift the legs off the floor, you'll feel the muscles have to work. So there's a little sensation of doing in the legs. Okay? And you can adapt this, just aware of something happening in the legs, holding, working, and then slowly as you exhale, let the legs relax, let the feet relax. Let the whole body relax from the head down to the toes. If you just need to make any little tiny adjustments just to reposition yourself, let that happen. Remember the mantra for relaxation: comfort is key. Even here in this space, remember the mind might be busy. It might be creating a to-do list, and that's fine. You might get clarity on your to-do list. Know that that might happen. You might drift. You might have lost half the words that have been spoken. That's absolutely fine, because you're exactly where you're meant to be for these few moments. Recharging the body's system, tapping into that natural sort of homeostasis that brings harmony and balance to our physical well-being. In turn, that affects the nervous system, taps into the sort of hormonal chemical release of bringing the sort of happy hormone into the system. So you feel a little lighter, even in the busiest of moments, the busiest of days. You don't need to be an expert to do this. You don't need hours of practice. It's quality. Knowing that when you take these practices, that they continue to work deep within us, long after we've stepped off the mat, long after we've got out of the chair. This is where these practices then start to not only impact ourselves, they have an effect on the people around us. So letting the body rest, feeling the support of the floor or the chair, all the muscles now just surrendering to that support. Nothing to do, no place to be. Enjoying, again, these few moments. If you're not comfortable, change the position. You need to sit up and move. And just connect back into the breath. And if it's a busy space, if it's not quiet where you are, be aware, let the noises become almost a lullaby for you. So you might hear traffic noise. You might hear someone talking. You might hear the wind outside or the birds. Might be pets, animals, children. Let all those noises just wash over you. Just anchoring yourself into these few moments of relaxation. I'll let you have that space. I'll just be a little quiet now for you, and I'll draw you back into the moment when it's time. Slowly just starting to let my voice travel back into your space, back into your awareness. And we'll remain relaxing. There's no rush to ease our way from this position. So stay as you are, but just start to be a little more aware of the shape and the support around the body. Start to become aware of the head and the face, the neck and the shoulders, the arms, the hands and the fingers, the length of the spine and the torso, about your hips and legs and feet and toes. Slowly letting all your senses help you back into this space. And there's never any rush. Take all the time. We never move quickly from relaxation. So you might feel you want to take a slightly deeper breath in through the nose, and you could exhale out through the mouth. It helps re-energize the body. You might want to wiggle fingers and toes. You might want to stay a little longer. It's all your choice, whatever feels right. And slowly just connecting back to the space. If you drifted a little bit, just come back into the room. See your surroundings, hear your surroundings. And you can wiggle and move in any way. If you've been lying on the floor, you might want to just wiggle the hips, oil the shoulders again, so that you feel that you're slowly back in the moment, slowly back to continue with the rest of your day. Just hopefully a little bit more recharged or a little rested. And know that it continues to work way after we finish the practice. And you feel ready when you come back to seated. If you wish, you could bring your palms together. This is known as Anjali Mudra, just that connecting the palms towards the heart. And you can bow the head and we'll say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om is everything. Om is undescribable. Om is, if you like, the vibration of life. Shanti is peace. So may every fiber, every vibration of your being be filled with peace. Thank you.